Okay, Breaker Broke 23. Today I want to show you guys a Matsushita / Toyota 5222 AM/FM stereo receiver from the early 80s. Now, this stereo was put in a few different early Toyotas, and from what I remember, I would pull these out of Corollas, certain lower line Celicas, and FJ60s up to roughly about 84. There was also another little two-door hatchback that Toyota put these in, and I'm trying to remember the name. It was kind of a funky name, actually. And anyway, pretty decent little unit. So let's go over this. Okay, so on the right side we have the volume control, and then we have on and off by pushing it. Okay. We have our tone control, not a bass and treble, but just tone control. Okay, so here's high and here's low. Let's find something that's not copyrighted so I can show you. We'll go to AM.
Good evening and welcome once again to Seattle Mariners Baseball. Gary Hill with you alongside the voice of the Mariners.
Okay. All right. Over here on this side, we're on a modern stereo. We'd have the volume control. This is the tuner. We have a balance control for left and right. No fader because this is just 2-channel only. We have the 2 AM preset buttons, so you can preset 2 AM stations. Then you can preset 3 FM stations. And this is how you switch back and forth to AM and FM. So if you just wanted AM in general, push any of these unmarked ones, and then you can tune it with the string dial and get whatever channel you want. And then with FM, to switch to FM, you just go to any one of these, push it, and then just dial around. If you want to set one, if you want to set a station, then you pull the button out. So I can do this with one hand. Come on. Well, we're on AM, so let's set an AM preset. So let's do this one, and we'll pull. They're hard to do, actually. Okay, get that hair off my finger. So we're going to pull that out, and then we're going to push it back in, and then there's that station set. And then that one. And then FM. Okay. So that's how that works. Old school. Really hard to do with one hand. Sorry about this, guys. The reason why I wanted to show you guys this is because I usually don't see these in this good a condition. This thing is literally minty mint. There are no fingernail marks on the knobs whatsoever. Everything is intact. Very clean, no scratches, a little bit of dust because I'm kind of in a dusty environment here in the shop. We have this balance control, so we have right and left. Okay, and then the tuner. Alright. Then on the side, shut this power supply down, I'll show you. On the side here, we have the Toyota mounts. Now, this was an OEM thing back in the late 70s and early 80s. And what it was is Toyota would mount it into their vehicle with these tabs, and then the faceplate on here was either a small shaft type faceplate or it was the whole dash, depending on what vehicle or model of vehicle it was. But what was cool is you could Toyota, depending on what model of vehicle you had, you could go with a little bit nicer stereo or a little cheaper. And basically, is all Toyota had to do was just take and put these mounts on whatever stereo you wanted. So that was kind of cool. And this is a precursor to the modern stereos. If you've noticed on a modern CD player, or a modern car stereo, anything after, say, I don't know, late 80s up through the 90s and to today, they all have what we call the Toyota Nissan mounting holes on the side. And that's so you can take a stereo, like an OEM stereo, out of your Toyota, Nissan, take these brackets off, put these brackets, line them up with the holes on your modern car stereo, and the back set is already set, the height is already set, and you have a good, strong mounting bracket here that keeps the stereo mounted to the vehicle rather well. Almost impossible to steal, as a matter of fact, unless you take the dash apart. So that was pretty cool. They were kind of ahead of their times on this one, and I thought that was a pretty cool feature. I wanted to show you guys that. Okay, so we have the underside here. Look how clean that is. I mean, a few fingerprints from me, but no corrosion, no rust, nothing. There's the ID tag. On the back, We have the Motorola plug for the antenna. We have this 2-pin connector on the top here for the power source. And on Toyotas, the old school Toyota, the gray is positive, the brown is negative. We have 3 wires here for the speaker, and I've got them all twisted here, and they're not going to short out, but basically this is a common ground stereo. So what you had here is you had like pink. So pink is your left positive, and we have the light green. So light green is right positive, and then the blue was the negative for both front left and right speakers. Really cool. This is like a rivet or something, but there's no hole back here for a back strap because these stereos did not need a back strap with this killer Toyota mounting technique. So that was pretty cool. All right. So back in the days, I started installing in about 82, 83, and back in the day, we'd get a new car that comes in. We would take the dash apart. We would take the stereo out. And then what we would do is, what I used to do is I used to leave a couple inches of wire and then cut the harness. Some installers would cut the harness off like right here at the plug. I did that a couple times when I first started installing. The problem was, if the customer brought the stereo back to you, like say he sold his car and he wanted to take his aftermarket Jensen or Pioneer or whatever it was out, you're kind of screwed. You have nothing to tag onto. So anyway, this was, the day in the days before the Metra plugs and the Scosche plugs. Now installing a car stereo is nothing. It's a no-brainer. Back in the day, though, you had to actually kind of be smart. So anyway, that's that. But this is a really cool radio. I'm going to actually put this up on eBay. And somebody that's restoring an old FJ60 or maybe a Corolla or a Celica or something may be interested in this piece. But before I put it up, I wanted to show you guys this little sweetheart. So, Matsushita Toyota 5222 AM FM stereo receiver from the early 80s. Real sweet piece of gear. Not bad sounding either, considering, it is what it is. Tone control only, no separate bass and treble. No faders, so no front and rear. Common ground. If I remember right, I'm going to say these were about 7 watts a channel. 5 to 7 watts a channel. Maybe even a little lower. I could tear it apart and look at the chip and see for sure. But I'm thinking 7 watts a side. Maybe even as low as 4, but I just can't remember. This is so long ago, I just don't want to misinform you guys. All right, well anyway, thanks for watching. I've got more of these old vintage car stereos, so I need to take some more of these out of storage and show you guys. This is pretty cool. If you guys are into it, let me know. All right, thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Please subscribe. Have a good day.